Mass Effect Priority Hagalaz is a cooperative board game for 1 to 4 players that plays in a couple of hours per session. And it's about, well, the Mass Effect video games, the super famous, super amazing, super cool, so very cool video games. But is this game worth the amount of money that you have to pay to get your hands on it? So play wheel. Mass Effect Priority Hagalaz has been published by Modiphius, and it has been designed by Eric Lang and Calvin Wonse-Leung, and it looks amazing. The production values of this game is just absolutely fantastic. The box, you're going to get a number of minis of the characters from the first game of the trilogy, and that includes minis for the he part and she part. For me, this is a massive hit because I fell in love with those games when I first played them in 2007. And the characters, I really became very fond for them. Mass Effect was probably the first video game in which I actually cared about those characters. At the very, very beginning, you're going to choose from 3 different missions. Those missions are going to give you, branching access to some missions, but not to others, depending on how you play, what you decide after each story mission. You have the shape of the Hagalaz that has crushed in a planet, and you have to make sure that the Reapers don't get to it. The book, the mission book, has different pages. The left side with all the information about the mission, like the enemies, how the winning and failing conditions, and then the right side comes with a hex map and the scenario where the minis and the tokens are going to go. The third book contains all the text you have to read as you're prompted to develop the story. To fulfill the missions, you can do it in 2 ways: the Paragon way or in the Renegade way, like in the video games. The Paragon makes you kind of the paladin of space. The Renegade is like the naughty space rogue. Between story missions, like the main missions, you can do loyalty missions. Those are specific missions that relate to the other characters apart from Shepard. And you can only do 2 of them between story missions. You have some choice, but also some very serious limitations. Running the game is actually simpler than it sounds by reading the rules. Reading the rules took us about a couple of hours, give or take, and then playing the game took us about an hour and a half before the Reapers handed us our own assets. It was painful, really painful. I mean, this is a game in which you're going to have to think strategically, like in the video game, and exploit the best abilities of all the characters and to play them in team, like in the video game. So, for example, there's one ability, one of the bionic abilities, that allows you to push an enemy. And there's another ability that comes from Rex, in which he gets very, very angry and plays bowling with the Reapers. He just charges into them and deals damage to anyone around them. So, if you use your ability to push 1 or 2 enemies close to Rex, and then Rex gets angry, those enemies are going to have a really, really tough time. The enemies are, well, like in the video game. You have the Reapers, and then you're going to have elite troops that are going to be so much harder to defeat. Each one of them has an attack value and a shield value, and they're going to get deployed on the map. Every mission has its own map with its own kind of terrain. Some of it is going to be visible, some of it won't be visible. You have terrain that you can get through very easily, terrain that you can shoot through but you cannot get through easily. It is very, very comprehensive, just like the video game. The character sheets look superb, and they're double-sided. You get your character with all the abilities, but you begin with a very weak character, like in the video game. You can get experience points by defeating enemies, but characters can get up to 3 points per mission only. That means that there is no point in actually one character destroying everyone, because then no one else will be able to level up. And you need those experience points to unlock the really cool abilities and update your character, like in the video game. The mechanics are actually simple. You have a pool of dice. Those dice have some icons for the different actions and things that you can do each round. That is from moving, double moving, do a standard action or special action, and you have stars. The stars are very important. Every character has their own unique ability. Every star will give you points toward that ability. So, for example, in the case of Shepard, you get command points. You can get up to 3, and you can trade those points in combat to inspire the rest of the squad to do cool things, like in the video game. The first player is going to take the whole pool of dice, and then they're going to choose 3 dice and then pass the rest of the dice to the second player, who will roll the dice again, take 3 dice, then the third player, and then the fourth player, which will be, a lot more constrained. And each round, the starting player is going to change. So, you're drafting your dice, which is something I quite like. Once you have allocated all the dice, then you're going to decide the order of play. Depending on what icons you have chosen, you can choose to move your character and then do a standard or a special action. And you can do things like, revive your squad mate. Exactly, like in the video game. When you act, you're going to reveal a card that you drew from one of the 2 decks. That will tell you what happens with the enemies. So, one of the cards could say something like, the elite enemies are going to activate, or the turrets, or they're going to spawn. Revealing the card is one of the most tense moments in the game. When the enemies activate, there are some rules as to how they're going to move and attack. And this is one of the reasons things become very tricky and we were pretty much obliterated. Because when they do, they're going to go for the weakest character, just like in the video game. So if you have a character with 1 health point, that is where the enemies are going to move toward unless somebody else intercepts them in the way. Things can get very tricky very quickly. The characters are nowhere near invincible. They have just a few shield points, and when the shield points deplete, their health points, that they are meager, will start to go down fast, very, very fast indeed. You really have to think very carefully whether you want to use close combat or ranged attacks. And there are going to be plenty of enemies. This game feels absolutely fantastic. They have managed to distill the whole feel and ethos of the video game, and we just wanted more, even if we really failed. But the experience of playing the game was so satisfying. I played the video games when they first came out. My friend Nathan is just beginning to play the original trilogy now, and he's in love with it. My other friend Christopher, he's never played the video games at all. They were both enthralled with the whole experience. I cannot wait to try the solo mode and just play the game by myself. I think this is going to be an absolute blast to play, and I will be reporting on it as soon as I possibly can, because I want to play this game very, very often. I really can't recommend this game enough. You have to get through the dense rulebook at the beginning. It's one of these cases in which the rules, as you read them, you will be thinking, what is this? And then you put everything on the table and everything falls into place so beautifully, so beautifully. Please give this game a chance, because I'm not joking, this is masterful. Thank you very much indeed for being there, I would truly appreciate your comments on if you have already played it, or your questions if you haven't yet. But until the next time, thank you once again, and I will talk to you very, very soon indeed. So play well.